No volume, sorry. I'm going to do this long respiration.
Hello, very pleasant good morning. It is 10:08 at WPSL and WSTU. Time for My Dream Home. Opinions expressed to those of the show's host, not WPSL or WSTU or EXP Realty. Any reproduction or reuse of this program without written consent of WPSL and WSTU is strictly prohibited. Besides, we have a large security person that can handle things for us.
Cliff wears so many hats.
Good morning, Eileen and Paula.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're great. How are you?
Doing fine. Doing fine. Our IRSC basketball team pulled off two miracles on Saturday, beat nationally ranked Florida Southwestern. So,
Well, that should bring him up in the ranks, right?
yeah, we were number 5 in the state, so I would imagine we'll be like 2 or 3 now.
Woohoo.
Yes, both women and ladies. So
Women and ladies.
yeah, and for some reason, Paula, we do not have your mic on.
Plug it in all the way.
Nope, your mic is not on whatsoever. So the try.
Well, while you do that,
Try
I
another
can start
slide.
with
Go ahead.
statistics, right?
Yes. you bet.
Okay. So first of all, invitation for anybody that has questions or wants to make comments about the show to call 772-340-1590. You can also email questions to us at mydreamhometeam@yahoo.com. If you want to visit our website, it's www.mydreamhomeusa.com.
Very cool. Okay. Paula's got a brand new mic here.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
There
there
we
we
go.
go. Yep. Got
I
it.
made it.
That's it. Yep.
So I have some interesting information that I read this week that I wanted to share with everybody. This is national market update news. New home sales rose 4.3% in January to 923,000
Wow.
annual rate.
Wow.
923,000.
In a week. Oh,
Maybe not, but
all in Port St. Lucie. Oh, no.
No, actually, these are national. Probably, I mean, people coming here wish we had that many, but we
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
These are national numbers. It's the second consecutive month where the gains were 19% or higher.
Wow.
that's amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
those are huge numbers. What was it that I heard was talking with Jill Marassa at the EDC? And I think she said, was it 70,000 rooftops have been okayed in St. Lucie County for various developers?
I don't doubt it.
I
It's
don't
like,
either. That's
okay,
phenomenal.
if you say 3 to a house, that's 300,000 more people.
Yep.
It's like, oh my.
Hopefully they're
Well,
not
you
all
know,
driving.
when they say that there are thousands coming every week, I mean,
Yes.
there has to be a place there. We have to have places for them. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if the old figure was 100 a week coming to Port St. Lucie, that's now up.
mhm,
Oh yeah.
Not by
Definitely.
much, but I mean, it's still it's up.
Yeah.
mhm.
And you figure 1,000 a week to the state of Florida, which is now up to 1,500 a week,
Mhm.
according to Dr. Jerry Parrish.
Well, and especially after the winter, they head up north. I can't blame them.
Yeah,
That's sad.
well, that too. Yeah, yeah. Amazing
Um,
stuff.
So this article that I was reading talks about, it was comparing the end of the year to the beginning of the year,
Mhm.
and saying that the end of the year had been down a little bit slightly. But that's pretty typical for the end of the year, no matter where you are. But the bottom line was that it's up 13% year over year.
Wow.
Yes. Last year was very busy
Yeah,
because, of course, that was before the pandemic.
right.
So the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020 was very busy, but even with the pandemic now, we are up 13% over prior to.
Well, the pandemic, if you listen to some of the reports of some of the various doctors up in the Northeast, they will say that um, the southern climes are actually better in combating this stupid COVID.
Well, and the interesting thing
That's
to me,
amazing.
which I don't think anybody thought about in advance, but the pandemic made many opportunities for a lot of people.
Oh, you bet. Yeah.
Opportunities to relocate, opportunities to get out of a very expensive area when you didn't have to be there anymore, opportunities to be able to afford more space than you had before, opportunities to be able to go to a different climate and still keep your job because so many more people are working from home now. So while it has been a very scary time for everybody, I'm sure, it did give a lot of people more flexibility than they had before.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it.
And I think flexibility that they will expect to keep forever.
Well, and I'm not sure I'd like to be in commercial real estate in New York and Los Angeles and San Francisco right now. I mean, this is kind of proven that, some of our workforce can do a job at home.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
some of
I've been
those-
talking to some commercial people too. Hopefully we'll be having one on in the near future. And they have had their own set of issues. Some kinds of commercial properties have been okay, while others, of course, haven't. So I think that they are doing the same thing everybody else is doing. They are making adjustments in the way that they operate, in the way that they rent their properties out, in order to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something, and of course, what was it? It wasn't Simon Properties, but the one right under Simon that just declared bankruptcy. They've had a lot of Steinmarts and people like that in their, as their anchor tenants, and they're gone.
That's
Mhm.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, companies who specialized in retail before, I'm sure will rethink that in the future.
Yeah.
They'll try to be more flexible, more diverse.
Well, and they're talking what, office parks? Well, we have one here in Fort Pierce.
Right.
Mhm.
You figure that was the only shopping center before Treasure Coast Square Mall came along.
Right.
And that's now all offices now.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
so many people are doing the online shopping, but then there are a lot of the major retailers that are getting into that mode as well. You can now online shop from Walmart or from some of these other places. So I think that makes a big difference. They're having to adjust, and because people don't want to come into stores. So
Yeah.
or
Well,
have been afraid to
Hopefully the vaccines will help that.
help calm it down. Yeah.
Yeah. At least psychologically.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
very cool.
Well, I want to introduce our very special guests today. I really appreciate them taking the time to be with us. We have Monica Pritchard and Anita Errico-Smith from Chelsea Title. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so glad that you're here with us today. Thanks a lot for taking time out of your busy day. And I'm going to start right away. I know that Anita has been on before, so some of our audience may recognize her. Monica has not. So Monica, let's start with you. Can you give us a little bit of your background, please?
I am a Florida barred real estate attorney. I have been working with Anita for the last 6 years now. We've been at this. So, she kind of does the outside, I do the inside. I do all the paperwork pushing and things like that.
Which is so important in the title company.
Hard part,
Right.
it is. We handle both residential and commercial books of business. And we do business all across the state. So we are really excited to be here with you. I've had the pleasure of working with you a few times as well. And yeah, I'm happy to be on this morning.
Thank you.
And I, so this has been a couple of years ago now, but I sat in a class that Monica did that Chelsea Title had sponsored through our Realtor Association. And she is very knowledgeable. So I'm so happy they're both here with us today. Can you kind of give us a little bit of information about the way that you, through the title company, have seen changes through the pandemic? Have you seen, have you seen changes in your commercial business, or how much has your residential business increased?
I think that anytime there's a big, obviously our residential business has increased. Everybody's has. You read the market stats. It's insane out there right now. You can't keep a property on the market for more than a couple of hours.
Seems like it, yeah.
So it's obviously that's increased. And I think commercial lags residential. So anytime you see a big increase in commercial business, residential is going to be shortly after there to follow. Anytime you see a big increase in residential business, commercial follows shortly after that, because you see these areas that aren't even normally developed, build up, get developed, all that kind of stuff. Then all of a sudden you see a Publix going in, you see them parceling, you see new commercial leases, you see a building before that was looking a little abandoned, investor comes in, renovates it. Now they're selling off the condo units to small businesses.
Right.
So, I mean, all of that kind of goes with residential. Also, you see large purchases of vacant land going up, especially in areas that may have been quote unquote less desirable before. And those are looking towards communities in the future, and they're starting to parcel those and do things like that. You're seeing more out of the box development in different places. So I would say everything is increasing now. We had a big residential year last year, and I would say commercial first quarter is doubling for me. Versus
Oh,
That's
wow.
good.
That's really great to
That's good
hear.
to hear.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful
great.
to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
People
So
don't
much
realize, I
better
think,
inventory
how
and
important
super-
that commercial aspect is to the economy.
Sure. Oh yeah. It's funny. The moment she mentioned Publix, I remember, and this will take you back to 1988. We were coming down with the Dodgers, and we had 3 buses, and we were on Prima Vista, and we're just about ready to cross over where the turnpike is, and there were two cattle gates. And so there was a guy there at the gates to let us in, and he kind of guided us in. And of course, there was nothing there, and there's a Publix store that was about ready to go up, and there was a McDonald's at the other end, and that was it. There's like Zippo, in St. Lucie West. And, he took us to, all of a sudden, you see this spaceship type thing. It was a stadium.
Wow.
And that was in 1988.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
What a change.
And I know our house was built in by the country club area in 92. And then the whole neighborhood between 92 and 94 like exploded.
It's
Oh, yes.
definitely
Oh
different.
my, yeah. Yeah, but that was so funny.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So we have a caller on line 3.
Whoops. John couldn't wait. Okay. All
Well,
right.
hopefully he'll call back.
Yeah. There you go.
In the meantime, I didn't mean to interrupt you, so please continue.
Oh, so you want to know more about the commercial market update?
Right. Yeah, I think that's wonderful news to hear that it's doubled in the first quarter of 2021. Is that what you're talking about?
My commercial business has doubled.
Okay.
So the orders that I've seen come in that I'm working on compared first quarter last year to first quarter this year,
Mhm.
were doubled easily.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's very
Mhm.
good.
So how do you guys compare with maybe other companies, say in Iowa or Minnesota or something like that? Do you guys have those stats?
No, we only work in Florida, so I work across the state of Florida. I know nationally most things are on the rise, and I know nationally there's like trends for commercial work being on the rise as well, because it's not unique to Florida that the market is hot. I would say the market is hot across the US, but we are one of the hotter markets for various reasons, politically and otherwise. There's a lot of people looking to relocate here,
Right.
but my colleagues and counterparts, because we are a national company, across the US are all experiencing a surge in business.
That's great.
That's wonderful.
That's great
Yeah.
news.
Very good to hear. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, we have John back on line 3.
Hey, how you guys doing? I
Good
was
morning,
looking up
John. How are
last-
you?
Good, good. I have a story to say. I don't know whether it pertains because I'm new to this program. I'm trying to listen to it every week.
Well, thank
But
you.
You did mention commercial, and I live up off of St. James by the Oxbow, in a beautiful community I never knew about. I used to live in St. Lucie West years ago when it was first starting, and I never went to the northeast section of Port St. Lucie. So now I'm moved into this community. It's actually a CDD, and we have a POA. And the question is this: there's a property that's been on our entrance to the south. We have 2 entrances on our south entrance that's been commercial for a number of years. And they wanted to rezone it as residential. And apparently everybody, the parties that be, the powers that be, the squeaky wheel, put out a big petition, and they wanted not to go residential. So I had to look out the window and make sure the cats and dogs weren't raining. And then I realized, no, it's not raining cats and dogs. So the problem with this property is that it's gone through a couple of tax sales. And I hear your guest mention that it's always a lagging indicator, I guess, when residential goes up, commercial follows.
Mm-hmm.
So I've tried to warn the community, it's zone CG, commercial general, so anything can go in there. It's as long as they follow the PUD. And it's not something, you can hear bulldozers the next day. It's not something like when it goes from commercial to residential, then you have a lot more clout as a community, because then they have to change the PUD and they have to get the variances in your approval. So my question is this: commercial, is it really going to affect St. James area if it starts picking up? Because we just had a groundbreaking right up the road across from the Oxbow. They just put in an ugly 7-Eleven gas station. I don't know who approved that, but it doesn't really aesthetically, it's not aesthetically pleasing. But is this if this commercial remains commercial, what are the prospects? I know it's a difficult question. I don't know if it pertains to your program, but what is the outlook in the next year for a development going in there?
Well, I think partially it depends on what kind of zoning it has, because there are several different commercial zoning regulations that may apply. It's not just, it has to go. I don't think people realize how long it takes to go through the whole process. Once a piece of property is purchased, and this applies whether it's residential or commercial, but it's like that pretty much is the first step. Now, generally what commercial property does, in my experience, is they have a period where it's under contract, but it's not purchased yet. And they go through their process with the local municipality to make sure that they can have the kind of facility that they want on that property before they finish their purchase. But
That's the case here.
yeah, I think what happens is it depends on what kind of zoning that particular piece of property has and what the prospects are for that person who's purchasing it to build their facility within that zoning regulation, or have the opportunity to change it so that they do conform to whatever regulation they would be under. And that, of course, is a municipality question. That's
Yeah, that would either be Port St. Lucie or St. Lucie County, depending on, how you guys are zoned. Or
Yeah, it's actually the city that controls.
yeah, well, then they'd have to go through city planning and zoning.
Mhm.
Yeah. I explained it to the community. It is a long process, but whenever you can change a commercial general over to residential low density, to me, it's a no-brainer, especially if you're living in a mostly residential community. And St. James, they should have named it a parkway, not a boulevard, because it really is a parkway. I mean, you have a beautiful median in between you, trees on each side, and then you come up eventually to the public shopping center up on St. James Country Club, and that's the really only commercial area you see. So I was just kind of curious on a street just like that, what the prospects are for any type of commercial property.
Well, and lots of times what happens is residential requires a certain amount of commercial that's nearby, because people don't like to travel for anything anymore. They want what they want close to home so that they can have their shopping, they can have their retail, they can have their restaurants, and they can have their grocery stores. They want them close to home. So is it realistic? Yeah, is it realistic to think that you're going to have only residential in, so many square miles? You have to have some kind of commercial, at least bordering it. I think.
Yeah, and we do. We have a Publix within a mile, and other stores in that public shopping center, and a McDonald's, and a new gas station going up with a car wash. So we have some amenities. It's just that, God forbid, you don't want a Walmart going in a 20-acre parcel. I mean, this is a very small parcel of 20 acres. It's very limited what commercial can go in there. And I'm just, I've always seen these rich real estate investment trusts that get it created just so that they can do a tax write-off, build a strip mall, get a couple of people in there, and then it goes dead after a while, and you have an ugly eyesore.
That's possible.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with their management.
That's usually what happens because it's been through two tax sales, all right, and they got it for a song. The first LLC paid $2 million, the second LLC paid $200,000 for 20 acres.
Wow,
and
what a deal!
They haven't paid the rent in the last. They haven't paid the rent in the last 2 years. So this is going to go quick. I'm sure they're not going to hang on to this. But I was just, when your guest was on, they were talking about the first quarter doubling. I was just curious if that's going to continue that strong, and what the prospects are for the northeast section of the city of Port St. Lucie going commercial.
Well, I think that based on the information that Monica is giving us, as residential increases, then commercial will follow. So eventually they're going to find something they can do with that parcel and do it.
Now, can I pivot to another question real quick?
Okay.
I'm going to be Mr. Boohoo. I lived through, as we all did, 2008. And my biggest problem with 2008 was 2001, 9/11, and zero interest rates, which really, to me, that was the catalyst. I mean, they couldn't have done all this creative underwriting for mortgages without low interest rates. And I see it happening again where we have low interest rates. So I love the fact that we're growing, but are we headed for another correction? Because it seems like real estate, just like the stock market, goes through cycles. And how close are we to going through that cycle of every 10 to 12 years, we go up and then we go down and up again?
Well, what I can tell you is that I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did, but I don't. And there are cycles. There are cycles for real estate. There are cycles for the economy. The pendulum can only swing so far, and then it starts to come back the other way. And when that will be, I don't know, but I can tell you that a recent article I read this weekend says that now interest rates, while they are still historically low, are at 3% now instead of under 3%. So that might help to slow things down a little bit. Is it going to slow it down a lot? I don't think so. Are people who have enough money to purchase what they want to purchase are going to do that. So I think a lot of it has to do with that. I think that this state is fortunate in that our economy is growing, unlike some other states. I mean, I worked in Michigan for many years before I came here. That economy fluctuated because it was all based on auto industry. That economy fluctuated probably every 5 to 6 years. We watch the market go up and down. So
depending on the union contracts. Yes.
Right.
No, and the plant
No, actually,
closing
he's got
and
a good
stuff.
point.
Yeah.
So I wish I
mean,
had a crystal ball for you, but like I said, I can't,
You said
I don't have
you said
that
something
information.
I know. I was just picking off your experience, but you did say something that I just noticed that's very smart. Is a lot of the people that are coming down, like most of us, are from the tri-state area, the New
Someplace
England
else.
area, Michigan, always Michigan for some reason, and a lot of Ohio. And but especially in the tri-state area, they're able to sell their homes for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, bring a whole lump of cash down here, and not even have to worry about mortgages. So that's
Right.
a plus. I just feel like the Indians in the Southwest 100 years ago. I just don't want them to bring anything else with them, because unfortunately they're running away from high taxes for a reason. And hopefully, when they get to Florida and they come across that border, a light shines in their head that says, "Do we really want to go through this again?" So I'm all for growth. I just want to see correct growth, because to me, quality of living is way better than quantity. I used to live in Miami back in the late 70s before the Mariel boat lift, and I saw what happened to Miami. So everybody got chased to Broward. I just leapfrogged to Palm Beach. West Palm Beach was a nice sleepy town in the 80s. No longer that. And I went to Port St. Lucie in the early 2000s, and the same thing happened.
Oh,
We
yes.
were having
Yes.
people moving in, 100 people all day moving in back then.
Yep.
So I'm just, it's just history repeats itself. As Mark Twain says, if it doesn't repeat itself, it certainly rhymes. But I just hate to see this beautiful community just turn into another Broward or Dade County.
Well, and then I think that you should get the word out any way you can. My motto is the 3 B's that we have in the office: be kind, be calm, be courteous. And then I had a customer add last week, be cool. So
There you go.
Well, thank you. God bless you. And,
well, thanks for the
enjoy
call,
day.
John.
Take care.
Have a good
too.
day.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that one piece of property, and I know which one he's talking about too, it's been out there for a long time.
It has, but I think the residents would rather it stay commercial, because
Sure.
the plan doesn't allow for the traffic influx and the influx of those using the facilities that are there. So I think that's part of the reason that they want it to stay the way it is.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. All right.
So to go back to Anita and Monica.
Sorry, guys.
We're good.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure, because I especially appreciated the way that you handled things at the beginning of the pandemic. That they set up their closings so that people could do their closings actually in their car instead of, because we couldn't.
That's cool.
Because we couldn't come together in a group.
Closed room.
Yeah. They would take the paperwork out, masked, of course, take the paperwork out to somebody, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw this happening. They would take the paperwork out to people in their car for them to sign so that they didn't have to come inside the office.
Yeah, I'm going to actually let Monica speak to most of that, but I think the key in all of that, Eileen, really was we were dealing with something we had never dealt with before.
Yep.
Right.
However, the show must go on, right?
Yes.
So we had to be solution oriented to figure out a way to still get the job done.
Yeah.
So we were thrust into this. So we did business a lot of different ways that we never thought we would.
Mhm.
But I'm going to let Monica speak to it because she lived it every single day. I mean, there was a period of time where part of our office, me included, went remote So we had a kind of a skeleton crew here working, which was very, very difficult for those who were actually in our brick and mortar facility, because while we weren't letting people in, the workload was here. So we're happy that all of our staff is back, but we definitely had to gauge what was going on in our world. And then as the months progressed, gauge the concerns of our clients. So.
Well, and that's my point. My point is that you are so customer focused that that's exactly why you made the decisions you made.
Yeah.
I'd say we're customer focused and we're just people focused in general. I think that when Anita and we run the business together, very much so. So when I think we are looking at what we want to do for our business and how we want to do it, the first thing that we have in mind is what's right, what's good, what takes care of our clients, what takes care of their clients, and what takes care of our people. Because we have young mothers here, we have cancer survivors, we have a different crew here, all different levels. We have people who are taking care of elderly people. You know, and when you have something this scary and unprecedented that happens, how the show had to go on. So the show was going to go on. What was the best thing that we could do to keep everybody in this office safe, everybody who does business with us safe, and still keep our clients' closings on the rails, on the tracks, and moving forward? And so we made different decisions. We tried different things, and it seemed like the best and most respectful way to do it was to do it in our parking lot and allow people to sit in their vehicles. And we had clipboards and gloves and masks and all kinds of stuff going. We had, when we decided to make this decision, we bought 2,000 disposable pens. So for a while there, during the scariest time, we were telling the people, keep the pen, don't hand it back to us. We were making copies, handing copies right away, just trying the best that we could to keep people safe, because, at the time it was like a new announcement every week. Okay, this is how you don't get COVID. This is how you get COVID. Oh, now it's in the air conditioner. Now it's in this, now it's in. So, and everybody was kind of guessing. I think now we're a year into this and there's a lot more research out there. There's less hysteria and more calm, cool driven facts. There's a vaccine available. So now our office is open and we are welcoming people back into our office. We are still wearing masks when we interface with the public. We still have, different personal protection available for our employees if they choose to wear it. We're still trying to not reuse our pens, or if a pen does make it back, we're Lysoling everything down still. We're Lysoling the door handles. We're still doing the best that we can by the people that we're with, but we don't have that same panic as we did at the beginning. But I found that was the easiest way to keep everybody safe and keep everybody, keep business moving forward, because how would we select, okay, you can come in our office, but you can't come in our office. And then, as you know, closings tend to be a time for celebration for the most part. Everybody wants to come. They want to bring their kids. They want to bring their mom. They want to bring, all kind of stuff. They have a moral support person, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a dog, a cat, so we want everybody to be there in the car. You can all be in the same car.
There you go.
And we would bring it out to the car because, and then everybody had different feelings about COVID. Was it real? Was it not real? Wearing masks, not wearing masks, all of those things. And I felt like it wasn't necessarily our job to police that. So the easiest thing to do was to control what we could control. and to kind of keep this moving in the parking lot. And I felt like everybody was pretty okay with it. I mean, we had a couple of people that were like, oh, I can't believe this. But for the most part, a lot of people were like, I don't even have to get out of the car. This is
I
fantastic.
thought it was a great idea.
Definitely.
This is amazing. Oh, I just signed this right here and I'm back to work. This is great. And then we
Right
did
through title.
There you go. Monica, were you guys unique in that, or was
I really couldn't tell you what I knew that a lot of different, I would say, I really couldn't tell you. So I would say society as a whole rose up in a lot of different ways. And just like Anita and I did, there's a lot of different awesome businesses out there that came up with great ways to keep business moving forward and keep their customers safe.
People are
So
so creative.
They
I
are.
don't really know if we were 100% unique in that. I can't really speak to other title companies' practices, but I can just tell you that that's what we came up with that I think worked best for our clients. We also do remote online notarizations. We have people within our company that do them. It's not an extra expense to our clients. I know when this all happened, everybody thought Ron would be the ultimate end all be all. While we found that we could utilize it on some transactions, there's still a lot of lenders that will not accept a remote online notarized deed.
They call it, you have to have a wet signature.
Yeah.
A wet
Yes.
signature deed.
really? I've never even heard that.
Yes, for
Ooh.
mortgages, yes.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Huh.
So there are some lenders that can do an 100% online package and will accept an online signed deed, but most of them will not. I would say 90% will not. So we thought that that was going to be a big fix for us. It was on our cash closings. It was not on our finance transactions. And as the world got, bigger because people were stuck where they were and they weren't flying and doing things like that,
Right.
Ron did help us quite a bit. Remote online notarization did help us quite a bit. And there was a couple of times that we had to tell the lender, listen, we know that this is not your usual policy, but it's either you're going to accept this deed or it's just not going to close. So
Right.
it's up to you. You can go as high as you want in your organization, but the people are in London. They're not coming back. So what would you like to do?
I've got a question for you. You say about the wet signature. How do these online banks do it? If they don't have any brick and mortar buildings, how do they handle stuff like that?
They expect the title company to handle it.
That's a good answer.
Hey, that's a valid answer.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yes.
A lot of people did become more flexible, though. I would say that there's a lot of banks out there where, you had to go in person to send a wire before. There was no other way to do it except for in person. And all of a sudden, you could send a wire on their app. Or all of a sudden, you could call and somebody would help you because the inside of the bank was shut down. So how are you going to go in person?
Right.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of different, I think so many different businesses rose to the occasion or at least tried to. So, I mean, I don't know if we were necessarily unique in that, but I would like to think that we did, as good of a job as we could do.
As quickly as possible. I think truly what set us apart, if it wasn't unique that we were in our solutions, what set us apart was the fact that we quickly responded. So very
Yes.
quickly, when we decided, well, not we, Monica and I, but when our district, it was forced upon our district, this is what business is going to look like. And really within a matter of hours, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. We had to think about the effects that it was going to have on our clients. And by our clients, I mean our real estate partners, our lenders, and our end client, which is a mutual client. So we had to very quickly figure out what was that going to look like. And Monica and I, on a daily basis, as hard as this is to believe, put ourselves in the shoes of that buyer and seller, which is difficult because we do this all day long, every day. And sometimes in our sleep, we could be signing a package in our dreams, but you'll have to think about what is it like for them? This is a big deal for them. And how is it going to affect them? What is it going to look like? So with as much care as we could, we made a very quick decision. And that, I think, set us apart because we had a solution in place very quickly for our clients.
Yes, and I really appreciate that about you and the
Mhm.
way the two of you run that business. Yes.
Thank you.
I hate to say we're running out of time, but before we run out of time, I need you to please give us contact information for Chelsea Title.
Absolutely, would love to. Chelsea, Title here on the Treasure Coast to serve you. You can reach us at area code 772-335-3250. And we are in St. Lucie West at 582 Northwest University Boulevard, Suite 325. You can reach me on my cell phone if you so choose, 772 58. What is my cell phone number? 772
They're all there.
631-5086. And Monica's email address is monica.pritchard, PRITCHARD @fnf.com. And I am at Anita.Errico-Smith @fnf.com.
Excellent.
We have Office and Stewart to serve you as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know you're running out of time, so I'll cut it short unless you need anything else from me.
No, I really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot, ladies.
Thank you.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you.
Wow, what sharp entrepreneurs, huh?
Definitely. Definitely.
You know, they saw the problem, they addressed the problem, and then just ran with it.
Keep going. Yeah. I think
Awesome.
that's fantastic.
While other
for the
places
economy
were
of our
shutting
area.
down and saying, we can't do this, you'll have to delay, they found a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Good stuff.
Totally amazing.
Yep.
I'm not sure if I'm that quick on my feet, but that's great that they were.
We have some zip codes Paula's
We
going to
do
do today.
If we have time for those. We have 4 zip codes. The first one is going to be in the Tequesta Jupiter area, 33469. There are 21 properties, 21 single family homes available at this time. The lowest selling price right now is $688,500, and the highest.
That's a
is-
garage, right?
Yeah.
in Jupiter.
And the most
Well,
expensive.
remember Tequesta's there too.
Right.
Yes,
yeah.
I know.
Most expensive right now is 15 million. So that area, if you're interested in it, just let us know. We can.
Did you say 21? That's it?
21 single family homes right now
Wow.
in that area.
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, single family. This is a point I wanted to make today, that single family homes are the ones that are selling so quickly.
Right.
Villas, duplexes, condos are staying on the market longer. But single family homes are the driver in this quick increase that we have had.
Yeah. They don't stay long. That's for sure. Yeah. The next zip code is in North Stewart, 34994. There are 34 properties, single family homes there for sale. The lowest priced is $479,900, and the most expensive property right now is $20 million. So that's an area that doesn't have much available as well. Nice area to be a part of.
And that 20 million, of course, is on the river.
I would think that's Selfish Point. So that's probably waterfront property. Then Port St. Lucie, west of the Turnpike, 34953. They have 80 single family homes on
That's
the
a
market.
huge zip code.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
And only 80 properties.
Only
Only
Yeah.
80
God.
single family homes on the market. Yep.
Right. The lowest starting at 159.9, and the most expensive at 700,000. So that's not too much in that area either. The last zip code, 34952, which is the southeast part of Port St. Lucie, 98 properties for sale in that area. The least expensive, 125,000, and the most expensive is 1 million. So there's a big gap there too, but
That would probably be on the St. Lucie River.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. North
And
Fork.
only 98 properties. So it's tight with what's available, but there are some out there. So let us know if you need some Need to see something.
That's part of the reason why those prices are increased the way they are, is because inventory is so low.
Right.
We like to carry an inventory, and these, of course, are MLS statistics. We like to carry an inventory of maybe 4 months, and we're down to a 30-day inventory in a lot of areas. So that's
Wow.
a huge difference. Yes. Now, keep in mind that when builders do put their properties on the MLS many times, but they'll only put a few on. So there are many more available in new construction neighborhoods that aren't reflected on here. But we certainly have access. We keep in close contact with several of the builders. So if you're interested in new construction and you don't know where to start as far as your research and your shopping, let us know, and we can certainly help you out there.
Well, and I would imagine, especially in the tradition area with the big builders you've got out there that are going crazy right now.
Definitely.
Well, and tradition was designed to be the next area of
Right,
growth.
right.
So of course that's, because the further east you go, the less property there is. So you
Right.
have to go west.
Right.
Keep telling them, pave the river, more homes. Oh, no.
Voters might not appreciate that one, but
Oh,
there are a lot of scattered lot homes going up too. I mean, no matter where you drive, you'll see 2 or 3 homes on each
Yes.
street
Mhm.
yeah.
getting built. So
Yeah,
There's a
those
lot of-
lots used to sit a long time, and they certainly don't anymore, because
Exactly.
we have also builders that that's the main way they do business, is to build on scattered sites. So that's there won't be
too many lots
that
left.
empty lot left in the neighborhood anymore.
Well, and you
Right.
see a lot of Becker Road filling in, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh yes.
I remember when Becker Road was not paved, so it was,
Yep.
and it wasn't that long ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and the same thing is going to happen on Canner. I know people aren't really happy about that.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
can't that
The Costco is going in there.
that the expansion, the first expansion west of 95, they are getting pretty close to having that done. And so when that's finished, there already are plans for a strip mall with a Publix to be in at that next intersection, at the west intersection of there. So, it's going to happen.
You mean by South Fork High School? That far west?
That far west, yeah. What is that street called? 96th, 94th?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's Pratt and Whitney. And
Yes,
that
it
goes
is.
south.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yes.
They're putting a Publix there.
Yep.
Well,
There's-
there
there's
goes
your-
the farmland. Yeah.
There's your marker.
The last
That's
time I
it.
drove out to Indiantown was several months ago now, but almost every piece of property on Canner Highway out to Indiantown has a for sale sign on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it'll be gone too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
The cows are going to have to move.
Yeah. Head to Lakeland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to one of our guests being one of the companies that deals with vacant land and getting it ready for construction. So,
Well, that would be an interesting topic.
yeah, and I think people don't realize how many years that process takes. I mean, people who are where they're building communities now is probably a process they started 5 years ago. And in order to get all the way through it, I mean, they have to have a tremendous amount of foresight in order to give us the kind of communities we are living in.
It's funny you say that, because we had a guest on our IRSC show, 5 years ago, Mr. Kiplinger, the Kiplinger newsletter, and he was talking about a concept in his family to build this development, if you will, by Citrus and 714.
Mhm.
And, that has been in the planning stages for 25 years.
Yeah.
In Martin County, it's just finally, I said, okay, go for it, and it's going to be he showed us the plans, unbelievably beautiful area. And 5-acre parcels, stuff like that. I mean, it's really, really going to be gorgeous.
Right. Well, and part of the process also is land by itself is expensive. But then when you begin to think of the amount of money you're going to have to invest in the infrastructure before you can ever start to build homes on it. So there comes a point in time where when you get far enough in your planning process, then you have to look for the right time to start that construction so that you're not losing money. I mean, and if you take a look, at 2008, 2009, 2010, and all of the building companies that went out of business then because of the crash, and they already had so much money invested from 5 years previous to that when they started working on these
Sure.
properties. I mean, some of them completely went out of business. Other ones just shut the project down until the economy got better and then started again. So, there's a lot of moving parts in any kind of community like that. I know we're getting slow on time. I want to make sure we give our contact information out to everybody again. 772-200-5105. That's my cell phone, and you can reach myself and Paula that way. We also have our email address, which is mydreamhometeam@yahoo.com. And our website is www.mydreamhomeusa.com. And pretty soon we'll be talking about expansion in our own team. So we have a lot of things coming up in the future, and we appreciate everyone listening, and make sure that you call in or send us information so that we can give it back the way you want it.
So it's going to be my bigger dream home team.
No, it's still going to be my dream home team.
Oh, that is so cool. So give us the numbers again.
772-200-5105. Our office is located in the Florida Club, which is open to the public, so you can come and visit us at our office. The address is 9014 Southwest Old Royal Drive, Stuart, Florida, 34997.
All right. And I want to thank the folks at Chelsea Title too.
Absolutely.
They were
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
What
Super people to work with. Yes.
entrepreneurial thinking during a pandemic. I mean, that really is impressive.
It is.
Yep.
It
Yep.
is.
All right.
Have a wonderful week, everybody.
Take care.
Have a good week.
You too.
My Dream Home right here on WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station, serving the Treasure Coast since 1954, and WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.